Welcome to this week's episode of Faith, Lies, and Confusion. As everybody knows, I'm your host, Godless Reggie. This week's episode, we're going to take a look at the Nation of Islam and the history of it. My co-host, they'll probably pop in the Afro Atheist. She's finishing up her show, and we'll also have the Vessel of Designer probably pop up. I'm gonna go ahead and start the show, and they should pop in sometime shortly. So, typically here in America, the Nation of Islam is a popular group here. They mostly are African Americans. They are followers of Islam. I think that sometimes they get flack for some of the things that they're involved with. I think sometimes they get a bad reputation. I think some things they do are good. I think some things they do are bad. Overall, I'm not religious at all. I'm not trying to down these people. I just want to talk about the history of them and where they came from. Some people consider them Muslims, some people don't. It just depends on how you look at the situation. Give me one moment. Let's see how it looks on the screen. Hopefully, this is big enough for everybody to see it at home. Look. So, the Nation of Islam is a religious organization in the United States founded by Wallace Fard Muhammad in 1930, a black nationalist organization. The NOI focuses attention on African diaspora, especially on African Americans. While describing itself as Islamic, its religious tenets, though using Islamic terms, differ from Orthodox Islamic traditions. Scholars of religion characterize it as a new religious movement. It operates as a centralized and hierarchical, organization. The nation teaches that there has been a succession of mortal gods, each a black man named Allah, of whom Fard Muhammad is the most recent. It claims that the first Allah created the earliest humans. The Arabic speaking dark skinned tribe of Shabazz, whose members possess inner divinity and from whom all people of color are descended. It maintains that a scientific name, Yakab, then created the white race. The the whites lacked inner divinity and were intrinsically violent. They overthrew the tribe of Shabazz and achieved global dominance. Setting itself against the white dominant society of the United States, the NOI campaigns for the creation of independent African American state union, nation state, and calls for African Americans to be economically self-sufficient and separate. Millenarian, MILLN, millenarian, I can't pronounce that word, tradition. It maintains that Fard Muhammad will soon return aboard a spaceship, which is crazy, the mother plane or mothership, to wipe out the white race and establish a utopia. Members worship in buildings called mosques or temples. Practitioners are expected to live disciplined lives, adhering to strict dress codes, specific dietary requirements, and patriarchal gender roles. Well, this is some things I was not aware of. I have heard about it having racism in it, but reading it firsthand, I guess I can understand why some folks may have a problem with it. I wasn't aware of that. I'll keep reading. Wallace Fard Muhammad established the Nation of Islam in Detroit, which drew on various sources, including a noble Jew, Ali's Moorish Science Temple of America, Black nationalist trends like Garveyism and Black oriented forms of Freemasonry. After Fard Muhammad disappeared in 1934, the leadership of the NOI was assumed by Elijah Muhammad. Now, this is where I kind of know something about it because most people here know who Elijah Muhammad is from the Malcolm X story. He explained the NOI's teaching and declared Fard Muhammad to be the latest Allah. Now, I didn't know that they looked at their leader as Allah as well. I thought they just looked at him as a prophet. Attracting growing attention in the late 1950s and 60s, the NOI's influence expanded through high profile members such as the Black nationalist activism Malcolm X and boxer Muhammad Ali. Deeming it a threat to domestic security, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, or the FBI, worked to undermine the group. Following Elijah Muhammad's death in 1975, his son, Warif Deen Muhammad, took over the organization, moving it towards Sunni Islam and renaming the World Community of Islam in the West. Members seeking to retain Elijah Muhammad's teachings reestablished the Nation of Islam under Louis Farrakhan's leadership in 1977. Farrakhan was continued to develop the NOI's belief, for instance, by drawing connections with Dianetics and expanding its economic and agricultural operations. Hey, Vessel, how are you doing? I see you here. Can you hear me, Vessel? Oh, yeah.
Where's Afro?
Oh, I think she's still finishing up her show.
No, it's done. I think.
I sent her. I sent her the link. You know your camera's on, right?
Yeah, it's just we're backstage.
No, your camera's on, and you're like live right now. You see the comments. Oh, what's up, Ouija666 or Unkindness? Thank you for stopping by. So, what you missed so far, Vessel? I just been basically reading the origins of the Nation of Islam. A couple things I've learned so far, which makes them different than the rest of all the other Muslims. They actually look at their leader as Allah. So the nation teaches that there has been a succession of mortal gods, each man, well, each a black man named Allah, of whom Farad Muhammad is the most recent. So they look at their leader and they call him Allah. So that's one thing I learned.
Now I find that a bit mind-boggling.
Right. Based in the United States, the Nation of Islam has also established a presence abroad with memberships open only to people of color, which is sad. In 2007, it was estimated that 50,000 members. The nation has proven to be particularly successful at converting prisoners. Yeah. The Southern Poverty Law Center and Anti Definition League has characterized it as a black supremacist hate group that promotes racism towards white people, anti Semitism, and anti LGBT rhetoric. Muslim critics accuse it of promoting teachings that are not authentically Islamic. Wow. Definition: the Nation of Islam is a new religious movement. Hey, Afro. Hey, Afro.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
So, what you missed, I just been reading like the history of the Nation of Islam.
Okay.
One thing that makes them different from all other Muslims, they look at their leader as Allah. So, Louis Farrakhan in their eyes is like Allah. I know they followed him, but I didn't know
Oh,
that they
wow.
looked at him as like God.
No way.
Yes, the nation.
Interesting.
Oh, sorry about that.
Mm.
The nation heavily draws on influence from both Christianity and Islam, but it interprets the Bible and Quran differently from mainstream Christians and mainstream Muslims. A black nationalist region and an African American religion, it seems to reclaim that it regards as the historic Islamic identity of African Americans. Its members have been called Black Muslims, and its second leader, Elijah Muhammad, stated that Islam is the natural religion of the Black nation. I disagree. Islamic elements in its practices include the use of Arabic language, prayer, prayers 5 times a day, and the adoption of a flag based on Islamic majority Turkey. A Muslim identity appealed to the NOI as it offered an alternative to mainstream Christian dominated American culture. The nation degraded Christianity, claiming it's a tool of white supremacy and claims that it's lacked rational and scientific basis on its own teaching. Wow. So I'm gonna move on from that because it just seems like all I hear is racism, 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 racism. So
So is this is this like a way to combat racism? Did this start off as a way to combat racism?
um I think it was more of a runaway from Christianity type thing. I think that its originators looked at it like, all right, well, Christianity is some bullshit, so we got to move towards something else. And I think that that probably wasn't the best idea. Now, going away from it, yeah, but why do you got to run somewhere else? Um, I guess I could, accept the unity part of it, but I don't really think that racism is necessary, in my opinion. I know
Okay.
you missed some of what I was reading, but it's kind of about that a lot. Okay, so I'm gonna move to the myth of Yakub and the white race. Damn, that's more racism. Why not? Let's move. Eschatology and the mother plane. The NOI is millenarian, believing that the humanity is living in end times, which same thing as Christianity. It propounds a distinct eschatology drawing on the book of Revelation. Central to its view on the apocalypse is a large spaceship known as the Wheel, the mother plane, or the mothership. Members usually refer to it with female pronouns. Elijah Muhammad describes this as a small human planet, claiming that it's half a mile and half a mile in diameter. The nation teaches that the vessel is Merkabah that appears in the book of Ezekiel 1, chapter 1, verse 4 through 28. It teaches that Allah and many of its scientists live in a magnificent city of the mother plane from which they monitor humanity. Farrakhan has claimed that Elijah Muhammad never died, but its residents aboard the ship. The nation teaches that there are also smaller vessels, baby planes, docked beside the mothership, and that these travel to visit the Earth. Wow. How you feel about that vessel, especially since it has your name in its mouth?
Sacrilege.
Oh my goodness. So listen, when I'm just reading this, I mean, it's crazy. I never knew none of this shit. Like, because they never talk about none of the crazy stuff and the far fetched stuff. They just talk about, the good things and black people need to unite and all this shit. But these motherfuckers really sit there and believe that there's really a mothership out there and a dead man is really up on this fucking ship. This is crazy. Man, oh man. Mm-mm-mm. So let me keep reading. Okay, the nation's teachings that a period of deteriorating interracial tension will culminate in the apocalypse. NOI members have repeatedly claimed that the apocalypse is intimate. Farrakhan, for instance, predicted that the Gulf War of '90 would spark it, while Tanita Muhammad predicted it would occur in 2021. I mean, excuse me, 2001. According to nation teaching, the mother plane will appear on the earth and transport the righteous to live upon it. It will then use the baby planes to place bombs beneath the Earth's surface, which will explode and wipe out the old white dominated order. Oh my gosh, listen, I can't even read this. My brain is just like, this is bullshit. The Earth's atmosphere will then burn 390 years and spend another 610 cooling down. This is pathetic. Once the Earth has returned to habitable state, Allah will return the righteous to live there in a new black paradise. In his book, The Supreme Wisdom, Elijah Muhammad claimed that after the apocalypse, peace, joy, and happiness will have no end. Those living in the perfect society will eat the finest food and wear clothes of silk interwoven with gold. The NOI has taught that the white ruling elite are aware of this forthcoming apocalypse and that the U.S. exploration of space and the strategic defense initiative or futile attempts to protect themselves against the mother planet. Oh my goodness. I don't even want to keep reading this shit.
I didn't realize it was this level of BS.
Me neither. And as I'm reading it, it sounds so ridiculous to my mind that my mind just don't want to say this dumb shit.
But
Bro,
people actually believe this. It's like something out of a movie.
Exactly. Exactly. And I didn't know a lot about this organization. And you're hearing this? I'm, it, wait, Reggie, is this supposed to be like Islamic or what?
hmm
Or like an offshoot of Islam? Because I don't think I've heard anything like this in Islam.
a little bit of both.
Oh, wow.
So this is like, okay, this is kind of what the Malcolm X story is about. He was a member of the Nation of Islam.
Okay.
But then I guess when he went over to Mecca
Hey, Vessel.
and started seeing, what
Hey,
it was over there, I guess that kind of started his problem with them. So this is just wild, just reading this because, like I said, I never knew none of this. So I'm going to read some of their practices. During the 1960s, the NOI places of worship were called both temples and mosques, as well as serving a religious function. These can also be used as a community center, bank, school, and childcare facility. Those attending meetings will sometimes be searched by members of the Fruit of Islam, the FOI, or the Muslims Girl Training Group, who look both for weapons and for objects like cosmetics, cigarettes, which are disapproved of. After this, the attendees are seen to their seats, usually rows and benches. The sexes are segregated during worship. Women on the right, men on the left. The tone of nation services is sobre and women quiet. Services typically begin with the statement As-salamu alaikum, peace be upon you, with the congregation responding Wa alaikum al salam.
Assalam alaikum. Wa
Bro,
alaikum wassalam.
shit, I can't read that shit. And also upon you meeting at the mosque are both open and closed with prayers, and the nation's national anthem may be played. A lecture will be provided by one of the ministers. The minister may read out verses selected from either the Bible or the Quran. Now that's interesting. Like
Mm.
in the 1950s, Elijah Muhammad published a prayer manual outlining how his followers should pray 5 times a day. This involved an ambulation or ablation beforehand. He stipulated that these prayers should be in English. I don't think this shit is spelled right because that's not how you spell. Well, stipulated. I don't think that's spelled correctly. Should be in English, although commented that in future he would explain how to do it in Arabic. In later articles, he explained that his followers should face towards Mecca as they pray, symbolizing their journey towards the restoration of Black greatness. The most important date in the nation's year is February 26th, the Savior's Day, which is believed to be the birthday of Fard Muhammad. This is the date on which the organization holds its annual national convention. Under Farrakhan, the nation has also held a second Savior's Day each year, October 7th, to mark the birth of Elijah Muhammad. Members are encouraged to make the Hajj pilgrimage to Mecca, which is a terrible idea to me. Elijah Muhammad himself did so 3 times. I wonder if they felt his booty when he walked through.
What are you talking about?
You don't know what I'm talking about? How people always be complaining when they go to Mecca for that, whatever that
I
shit is.
know that, but they only do that to women, though. They only do that to women, Reggie. What are you talking about, Reggie?
You
Well,
never know.
they might do it to men as well, but we
Reggie.
don't ever hear about it.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh. Well, I mean, homosexuality is a thing. It is a thing.
Right.
It is a thing. So
Wonder how they would feel with their toxic masculinity, having women do what they do to them.
ew,
Absolutely,
ew,
I
they
wonder.
would jump out of.
ew. Vessel, would you want to grab one of those men? Would you want to do? No, thanks.
Also, when I'm
Ah, no,
pissed,
no, 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 no.
I'm
No,
pissed.
no, I'm not doing that. I'm not touching
And I
somebody.
would not do it in a very nice manner when I'm
Eh?
pissed.
You say
When
say
I'm
that
pissed,
again?
if I'm
Yeah.
pissed, like
I'm listening to y'all.
if somebody was doing it to me and I'm on a revenge thing, I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna do it, and but I won't do it in such a nice way. I will
Okay.
do it in a way that you're going to scream and your eyes will bulge
Oh, okay.
because no one retaliates. That's the problem.
That's it. And even when they report to the police, right? Because those ladies, they find their voice, they go to the police and go and report what's happened to them, right? Just guys, go and look at the um Hajj Me Too hashtag, right?
Mosque, me too.
Mosque Me Too, sorry, Mosque Me Too. Women that have been groped and sexually assaulted at the Hajj as they were going round 7 times.
And they don't care whether it's an elderly woman, whether it's a young girl,
Sickening.
whether it's a pregnant woman, whether they're married, whether they're single. They don't care.
This is
You know what
supposed
I
to be
think
the
that
holiest of lands.
you
You
know what I
go
think
there to
that
be
comes from?
sexually abused.
Because like they try to restrict people's sexual lifestyle so much that a person just automatically becomes a pervert. Like, how can you just go through
Mm,
life like and just like, okay, you can't have sex till you marry, right? Just say for instance you can't find a husband or a wife, right? And you 25 fucking years old. You just built up with all that goddamn frustration that you ain't got no choice but just be a damn pervert. Like this, I mean, I never understood religion.
Reggie,
Like,
no, I'm going to disagree with you.
I mean,
I'm
I'm
going
not
to,
making it an excuse, right? I'm not
you
saying
know,
that.
you don't understand. Hold on. Let me tell you why I disagree with you. With all the rules in Islam, it's never stopped them, having sex. It's never stopped anyone having sex with all the
I
rules.
mean, that's true. That's true, but you're not really supposed to until you
Hmm.
are married, right?
Yeah, okay.
And so just imagine,
Reggie,
look at it from this point. Look at it from
Reggie,
this point. Listen, Alfred, look at it from this point. Say you live in an Islamic country, right? Say
Mm-hmm.
that. And say you're a
Mm-hmm.
man. Come on now, how are you really going to get some before you get married? Because
Reggie,
if you do
Reggie,
that, if you do that,
let me
the
tell
women out
you,
there, you're not going to be able
They're
to marry
doing
them.
it. They're doing it. They're
With
getting
who?
some.
let
With
me
who
tell
though?
you how they do it, Reggie.
They're getting some.
The girls are giving it up back way, so they remain in
Now
in
you're
the front
talking.
Okay,
and
There
but look,
by
is.
the thighs, either on the thighs or back way. That's how they're doing it, so they remain in front.
okay,
Isn't there talks of isn't
okay.
there talks of, I don't know how true this is, but isn't there the talks of the prophet doing his thing on the laps of his
Yeah,
child bride? So
Because
this
I
is
mean,
it.
if I was a woman over there, I'd be like, look, bro, you're gonna make me be literally worthless. I mean, I don't get it. But
they're doing it.
now that you said it that way, I forgot about that. You know, there's
The
always
whole
ways
the
around
whole
shit.
purity culture thing, right? So like with the what's it called? Is it the Mormon church? Is it the Mormon church where they do something like what's it called? It's called when you, instead of putting it in the front passage, you put it at the back passage. Um, I remember the name. Or there's one that they do. You stick your PP right just in the you don't shove it in, you just stick it then. What else, sugar? If Phil was here, he'll remember what I'm trying to say. There's a name for it. Let me see, what's the name for it? Oh goodness, why have I got feasting in my head?
Oh my gosh,
Reggie, why have I got feasting in my
I
head?
don't know. I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. I don't know if everyone's okay. I just don't. I don't know. I really don't know. I can't figure out how to get the right screen back up neither. I just don't know anything right now.
That's it, you've got the right one.
All
Wait,
right, so
let me see. Now this is gonna do my head in. I need to find this.
all All right, I'm about to read some of the good things about the Nation of Islam: economic and educational independence, exposing economic nationalism. The nation follows the ideas of earlier thinkers like Booker T. Washington and Marcus Garvey, and emphasizing the construction of black infrastructures as a means of community empowerment. The nation has created many companies, including the Salam restaurant chain, the Shabazz bakeries, the Fashan Islamic clothing range, the fresh and clean skin and hair care products, Abundant Life Clinics, and it owns a mall in Chicago. It owns various clothing stores and food markets. Since the 80s, it has also sought government contracts. In 1988, it established the Security Agency Incorporated, which provided FOI patrols for clients, excuse me. In 1985, it launched its Power People Organizing and Working for Economic Rebirth project designed to redirect black purchasing power towards black owned businesses. It also seeks the collective economic advancement of African Americans through individual achievement. Various women members created their own businesses, sometimes run from their home. Some of the African Americans' left wing anti capitalist critics have derisively dismissed the nation's approach to economics as black capitalism.
Hmm.
Farrakhan has responded that while socialism appeals to him, capitalism is the only feasible road to economic empowerment for African Americans. The nation prioritizes land ownership to increase food production and autonomy for African Americans. A commonly used slogan among the NOI is that the farm is the engine of our national life. By the early 1970s, it had 20,000 acres of farmland in Michigan, Alabama, and Georgia. While in 1994, Farrakhan's nation produced 1,556 acres of rural South Georgia near Brownwood, naming it Muhammad Farms. Much of the produce grown here is distributed to NOI mosques around the country. NOI members also own urban gardens in various U.S. cities. In 91, the nation launched its 3 year economic savings plan, asking followers to send them $10 a month. Here we go. Over the 3 years, money that would collectively allow the group to buy more farmland. For the nation, acquiring land and growing food is regarded as means of building self-determination for African Americans. It hopes to establish a system of black-owned farms through which to feed 40 million black people, with the stated aiming of providing at least one healthy meal a day for every African American. That I wasn't aware of. I guess that's cool. I mean, they're putting their money where their mouth is, and they're not really asking a lot, in my opinion.
Reggie, Reggie, is there proof that these things go on?
No,
It's one thing to propose something; it's another thing for it to actually happen. And at whose expense? At whose expense is this happening? Huh?
that's
At the expense of the same people. I don't know why you have a God that can't do things for people, and the same God expects people. In fact, I read somewhere in the Quran where Allah wants loans from his followers. Let me see if I can find that verse in the Quran that talks about Allah needing a loan from people. Um, Allah wants a loan.
God always broke.
Alone to do what with?
Uh, in the Quran, yeah, Surah Al Hadid.
And does he pay
Right,
back
okay.
with interest? I
Right.
thought,
Interest? No, no, God doesn't
oh
pay
no,
back.
they don't do
Okay.
interest in Islam.
Um, Reggie, can I share my screen, please?
Mhm.
Right, let's see where Allah present.
I don't see the thing. Oh, there it is.
You seen it?
There it is.
Okay. So this is is it big enough, or let me see, make bigger. Okay. So I don't know if you guys can see.
I can see
Okay.
it.
So yeah, indeed, the men who practice charity and the women who practice charity, and they who have loaned Allah a goodly loan, it will be multiplied for them, and they will have a noble reward. Surely those who have given, these are just all the different interpretations. Surely those men who will give sadaka alms, and those women who give sadaka and have advanced a good loan to Allah, for them it will be multiplied, and for them there is a noble reward. You have to give God loan. Hmm?
That makes no
You
sense.
have to give God loan. Just 1 second, Rachel. Let's see. There are other surahs that talk about Quran 57:11. Let's see. Quran 57:11. Quran 57:11. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, still the same one. Who is it that will lend to Allah a good loan, which Allah will multiply many times over for them, and they will have an honorable reward? So Allah calls for these people to give a loan to Him, right? In exchange for a good reward. That's some. Oh, I was talking about something earlier on. So, guys, look at this here. I was trying to remember the name of this thing, right? And it's called soaking. So this is the way the Mormons and the other places that preach this purity culture thing, no sex before marriage. Some of them get away with this soaking, right? So some popular news sources have stated that soaking
The fuck?
serves serves as a purported loophole to the LDS Church's sexual code of
Man, that
conduct.
shit crazy.
It's called the
Sorry,
law
what
of
is that
chastity.
image? What
Huh?
is it? What's happening there in the image?
It's a
So
dude. It's a dude getting hit from the front with his legs
no,
up in
no,
the
no.
air.
Huh?
It looks like a man getting hit from the front with his legs up in the air.
No, no. That's a female and that's a male. Yeah, a female and male. And so these two, no sex before marriage, right? So these two are not married, but because of course, desires, right? So the law of chastity, which says that all sexual um
Oh, okay, I see
and
it now.
so what it is you put your PP in there, right? And you don't thrust.
Is it
You don't
between
thrust.
the thighs?
Huh?
Between the thighs?
Not between the thighs, inside the hole. I don't know
Oh,
which hole this is. Yeah, so
all
it's gone into a
Let me look
hole.
again. I'm gonna blow it up again. Let me look.
You want me to
I don't know. It kind of.
hold on? Let's see. Let me see if I can do.
so you just put it in there and just leave it in
Just one
there.
second. Let's see. Yes, you put it in there and you don't thrust. You just wait. Where did the picture go?
Okay.
Where is the picture? Where's the picture? Where is it? Where did the picture go?
That ain't no different than like the stuff that we used to say when we was younger. Like
I can't find the
kids
picture because it's all gone too big. Hold on.
to try
Let's
to trick
see.
somebody. You used to be like, let me
My
just put the head
400.
in.
Where did the picture go? Wait, let's see. Oh, sugar. Soaking might be the most misunderstood sex act. Wait, no. What did I do? Okay, so this
Yeah.
one here, I was trying to. Okay, soaking, right? Soaking. So soaking is a sexual practice of inserting the pee into the vagina, but not subsequently thrusting or
Okay.
ejaculating. It's reportedly used by some members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and new sources do not report it being a common practice. And some LDS have said that soaking is an urban legend and not an actual practice. Yeah, that's what they would say. Others have reported knowing church members who had soaked. Right, so this is a soaking. So you put it, but you don't thrust, and you don't you put it but you don't thrust. Yeah, you don't let it go all the way.
So you
So
just soak. So you just soak your member. That's what you just soak it.
Yeah, you soak. Yes, you so now some people. Oh, did you guys know about this other one, jump hopping? Do you know about jump humping?
No,
Hmm? Reggie, do you know
no.
about jump
no,
humping?
I never heard of that.
Reggie?
Heard of dry humping?
Okay, so what jump, no, jump humping, right here, you're going to need one of your friends with you. Yeah, so boy and girl, right, come and do the act. But so you the guy, you put your PP in there, then get one of your friends to jump on the bed, right?
What?
So this person is jumping while his two friends are there,
While you're soaking.
so that the guy cannot say that he was the one who shoved in, right?
That is
So
stupid.
it is this action here, jumping on the bed, that will cause some friction, some movement. Yes,
But
jump
look,
humping.
I don't think
Oh,
nobody's
God.
thinking logically about this. You know why? Because if a man, right, the first time you get some, if you could last 2 pumps, 2.5 pumps, you are the man. You're beyond the man. So for me as a teenager, if I could have just soaked, that would have been good enough because it would have I would have been dead right in you. And that would have been the end of that. So
Yeah, so I guess for some people, yeah, it's we just 660, I'm too fat, I'll break the bed. No, 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 you can never be too fat for for soaking. You can never be too fat for soaking. No. You just need to lay there and
How
just,
about you jump
just put
and
it.
then they fly up into the air?
No, you can't be too fat. No, 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 no. Mm-mm, mm-mm. You don't even need to do anything. You just need to lay there and let the person just do what he needs to do. But what I don't understand, if the man is busy soaking, what does the woman get from soaking? Hmm?
I don't
What's the
know.
woman getting from soaking?
I don't
And
know,
then you
but
can soak and soak with this person, and still he will not marry you.
it's a pretty
So
good deal though. Look, if you think about if
no,
if
it's
a
not a good
person
deal for the woman. It's not a
no,
good deal,
listen,
Reggie. No,
look,
you're
hear me
thinking
out,
right
hear me
now.
out.
Right now, you are thinking from a man's
Uh.
perspective. No, no,
You forgetting
Reggie.
some part.
No,
Listen,
it's not a good
listen.
deal.
If we can dry hump and then soak, that's a good deal. You done got both motions.
No, but what's the woman getting though?
Mm,
Huh, Reggie?
I don't know.
What's the woman getting?
I don't know.
Huh? You see?
The ability to keep a lie going.
What if he ends up not marrying her?
No, but she can keep
Then
saying she
she's
a virgin.
fucked.
She fucked either way, but literally.
No, but
But what
then
I'm s-
she has lost her virginity.
yeah,
She's
yeah.
now not, whoever is going to marry her, if it's not that person, they could turn around and say, hey, she was not a virgin. And then
Nuh-uh,
it
No,
becomes a problem.
nuh-uh, because y'all just soaked, so she didn't have sex. So when you ask me, what does she get? She gets to keep her virginity and the lie going.
No, no, Reggie. Soaking, he has inserted it in. He has put it in.
no, no. She's not going to lose her virginity with soaking. No, you
No,
don't
but
go.
where is he
You
putting it
don't
in?
a vessel with soaking. You don't go. You're not going in as hard enough as to break the hymen. No, the
So
hymen
you
is not
just
broken.
staying outside.
You're just there. You move until you hit the spot where hymen, where the hymen is. You get that feeling, and that's where you stop. That's where you stop. You don't push through, because if you push through, you break the hymen.
But we know that hymen can be broken through sport and other things. So,
uh,
or why, how about when trying to do the soaking thing, you go there and the hymen's already been broken, and then you go all the way because
well,
you're looking for resistance and there is none
I don't know.
because
listen,
maybe
when
the
it
high jumping
when a
or
god,
the horse riding has broken it, or bike riding or something has broken it.
this reminds me of Adam and Eve. When you tell people don't do something, right? Thou shalt not do this, thou shalt not. We are curious beings. We will always find a way to do stuff. So if you say don't have sex, people will look for clever ways to have sex. So if you say don't, I mean, look at this, they're devising ways. Look at this. Jump humping. It's a thing. Soaking is a thing. And then also going in the backside. That's a thing too. Adam and Eve, when God told them don't do this, did they not go on and do it? So God is really I don't know what's up with his I don't know what's up with him. He knows that people will still go ahead and do what they're going to do anyway. So why bother with these rules and laws? And makes no sense. Reggie, I'm sorry. I don't want to take away from your Nation of Islam content.
No,
Sorry.
go ahead. I don't care.
No, I'm done. I'm done.
All right, I'm gonna read something else
At
about it.
least you learned something new today.
hmm So the background: Islam had a presence in North America prior to the formation of the United States. African Muslims were among the Spanish expeditions that explored the continent during the early modern period, and were also among the many enslaved people transported there via the Atlantic slave trade of the 16th through 19th centuries. It is established that at the time of the American Revolution in the at the 1760s to the 80s, approximately 15% of enslaved Africans or and African Americans in the new United States were Muslim. Although Islam probably died out among the African American community over subsequent generations, the notion that Islam was a religion historically associated with African Americans influenced the emergence of groups like the NOI in the early 20th century. The early NOI's theology was informed by various sources, including older forms of Black nationalism, Garveyism, the Moorish Science Temple of America, the Jehovah's Witnesses, and the Black Freemasonry. The nation was significantly influenced by Marcus Garvey, a Jamaican born Black nationalist who lived in the U.S. from 1916 to 1927, and who formed the Universal Negro Improvement Association and African Communities League. Zoe Coley commented that the UNIA provided the cultural bedrock for the NOI. Garvey's economic nationalism, hereby he called for African Americans' economic self-sufficiency and enterprise, was a particular influence. The Moorish Science Temple and organization also promoting an idiosyncratic religion that described its teaching as Islam would also be a key influence on the nation. This had established by this had been established by the North Carolina-born African American noble Drew Ali in Newark, New Jersey in 1913. Drew Ali claimed that he was the reincarnation of both Jesus and Muhammad. Crazy. And maintained that African Americans should refer to themselves as Moorish Americans, reflecting that he believed were their connection to the Islamic Moors of North Africa, which is crazy. The nation that emerged in the context in the 1930s when large numbers of African Americans were migrating from the southern states to the north to the cities in the north. Most of the early members were southern migrants who had settled in Detroit. So that's kind of some of the stuff I'll be telling you. Like around that time in the early 1900s, a lot of black people moved up here from the south to Detroit, Chicago, Indianapolis, Ohio. A lot of times to work for either steel mills or the car factories. My grandfather actually moved up here to do the same. That's kind of why I'm in existence. That's another topic as well because they tried to stop a lot of people from coming up here, putting them in jail and shit like that because what they really wanted us to do was to remain in the South and work in the fields. If you ever hear the term sharecropper, that means black person. Bottom line, just a little history. Let me read some more. Wallace Farad Muhammad, the Nation of Islam was founded by him, who appeared in Detroit in 1930. I already read that part. I don't know if you see his mugshot. I wish I could blow it up a little more.
Is that a mugshot?
Uh-huh.
Oh wow.
He kind of looks like Malcolm X before he was Malcolm X. You ever seen his mugshot before?
Yes.
Yeah, he reminds me of him a lot. Dang, I don't know how to go
So,
back.
he's the founder of the Nation of Islam.
Yep.
What was his religion
Mm.
in forming the Nation of Islam?
I don't know. I'm gonna read it. Let's see.
Okay.
It should say all about him. Okay. The Nation of Islam was founded by Wallace Farad Muhammad, who appeared in Detroit in July 1930 when he began preaching his ideas among the city's African Americans. Farad claimed that he was an Arab from Mecca, wow, who had come to the United States on a mission to the African American people, whom he called the Nation of Islam, to restore them to the original faith. The nation has since taught that he was born in Mecca on February 27th, 1877, the son of a black father and a white mother. In their view, he was Allah himself. Outside of the nation, various theories have been proposed as to the true identity of Fard Muhammad. The Federal Bureau of Investigation (FBI) later noted that Farad Muhammad's fingerprints matched those of Wiley D. Ford, a white man who had a record of arrest and had served a 3-year sentence in San Quentin prison for drug charges.
Oh
Ford
wow.
Ford had been released in May 1929, a year before the appearance of Fard Muhammad. The NOI rejected the identification of Fard Muhammad as Ford, claiming that the FBI forged the fingerprints evidence. Another allegation is that Fard had been a member of the Moorish Science Temple of America, David Ford L., and had tried to claim its leadership by proclaiming himself as the reincarnation founder Noble Drew Ali, but failed. This shit is crazy. Fard Muhammad's following grew rapidly. Around 7,000 to 8,000 people attended his meetings, which were held 3 days a week. Some of those attracted to it had previously been members of the Moorish Science Temple. He wrote two manuals, The Secret Ritual of the Nation of Islam and the Teachings of the Last, and the Teachings for the Lost Foundation of Islam in the Mathematical Way. He also urged his followers to listen to a radio sermons of the Watchtower Society, man, and Baptist fundamentalists. He, est-
Mm-mm.
he established a bureaucratic administration within the nation, its own system of schools, and the Fruit of Islam paramilitary wing for men and the Muslim Girls Training School for women. In 1931, an African American man, Elijah Poole, became a disciple for Fard Muhammad. He had been born to a poor family in Bold Springs, Georgia, in 1897. His father was a sharecropper and Baptist preacher. In 1923, Poole and his wife Clara relocated to Detroit, where they settled in the Black Ghetto of Paradise Valley. There, he joined Garvey's UNIA and worked in industrial plants before becoming unemployed amid the Great Depression. When joining the Nation of Islam, Farad Muhammad gave Poole the new name of Elijah Kareem. In 1932, the Detroit Police Department arrested NOI member for a murder which they claimed was a human sacrifice. This led to headline news, which often identified the NOI as a voodoo cult. The police then raided the nation's headquarters and arrested Farad Muhammad. He was soon released. The killer was declared insane. After this incident, Farad Muhammad gave Elijah Poole increasing powers, declaring his supreme minister of the nation and renaming him Elijah Muhammad. In 1933, Elijah Muhammad then set up a new temple on Chicago's South Side. Farad Muhammad was arrested several further times. In September 1933, he was arrested for disorderly conduct in Chicago, which it which is his last known verified whereabouts. In 1934, Farad Muhammad disappeared without notifying his followers or designating a successor. Rumors spread that he had moved to Europe or that he had been killed either by the police or by his ex followers of his. This shit is crazy. So I really do want to know who exactly Farad Muhammad really, 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 really was, though. I always tell people that whenever we talk about the Israeli presidents and shit like that, I always tell them that they got fake names and shit like that. It seems like they're not the only ones like that. Farad Muhammad. So it says he was.
But you can clearly see that this is. I mean, I can understand that it started off as a need. There was a need, and so something. Some people needed something. I can understand that, right?
Hmm.
But you can clearly see from this that this is nothing but a cult. But I think what I would do, I would step away and realize that when you are in the cult, you are not entitled. You are not. This information is not easily accessible to you.
Right.
This information, and they will tell you when you see something like this that is putting your religious beliefs down. You're not to look at it. You're not to engage in it. You're to condemn it, right? So I guess they wouldn't see what we see. They wouldn't know that this is, they're in a cult. They just want a place to go. They just want a place to go and, serve God and worship and whatever they do over there. But it is a cult,
Hell yes,
as
a
as
cult.
with all of them. as with all of them.
It's a super call. And listen, I'm so glad, Russell, that you brought that up because I just went to his page and I mean not his page, but I looked at Wallace Farad Muhammad, and it's really crazy. Once I start reading about who he really is, I know that we got other shit to do today. So after that, I'm gonna wrap it up because let me see. I'm gonna try to get out of here by 2:40 our time, but it's crazy who he really is, and it just shows how gullible people are. People
Hmm.
believe any fucking thing that you tell them. So let me pull his screen up. Let me see if I can blow it up. Is it bigger now? Can y'all see it? I
Yeah,
can't hear nothing.
I can see it.
Okay, let me read it. So Wallace Farad Muhammad. Farad first appeared in Detroit in 1930. His followers cite July 4th, 1930 as the date of his arrival. Acting as a door to door salesman, Farad spread his religious teachings throughout Detroit and within 3 years grew the movement to a reported 25,000 members in Detroit, Chicago, and other cities. He was a clothing peddler. Farad began by selling Oriental silks door to door in Detroit's black section. Farad visited the homes of black families who had recently migrated to Detroit from the rural South. Farad told black residents that his silks were the same kind that their ancestors in Mecca used and claimed that to be a traveler from that land. When offered food, Farad reportedly ate what was provided but would advise residents to avoid certain foods, promising health benefits would follow. At his suggestion, he came back to teach the residents along with guests. In the early stages of his ministry, Farad used the Bible as his textbook, since it was the only religious book with which the majority of his audience were familiar. Bowen similarly argues that in the early nations of Islam, ministers regularly referenced passages from the Bible to prove their claims. Farad's successor, Elijah Muhammad, would later claim that Farad knew the Bible better than any of the Christian bred Negroes. Lomax wrote that Farad was well versed in the Bible, used it as a textbook, and taught in the style of a Southern Baptist preacher. Benyon writes that with growing prestige over the constantly increasing the group, Farad became bolder in the denunciation of white people and began to attack the teachings of the Bible in such a way as to shock his hearers, his hearers, excuse me, and bring them to an emotional crisis. Farad taught a form of black exceptionalism and self-pride to poor Southern blacks during the Great Northward Migration at a time when old ideas of scientific racism were prevalent. He advocated that community members establish and own their own businesses, eat healthy, raise families, and refrain from drugs and alcohol. In 1938, sociologist Erdman Doan Beymon published in the American Journal of Sociology a first-hand account of several interviews he conducted with followers of Farad in Michigan. From those interviews, Bayon wrote that Farad lived and taught in Detroit from 1930 to 1934. But that's kind of what I was telling you earlier, Afro, that a lot of people turn to Islam as a way to run away from Christianity. Oh, Christianity is the white man's disease. Boom, and they just took off with Islam, not knowing they run it right back to the same place. I can't hear you, Afro.
They jump from frying pan to fire.
Right.
Mm. You move from a religion. At least when you leave Christianity, you're not threatened with death. You move on to this other religion, Islam. You leave. There is the capital punishment for anyone who leaves the religion. I can't deal with these sort of ideas, and I don't know why Juad White. Why are you a Muslim? I mean, Juad, you left Christianity and went to Islam, right? Did you guys know that Juad he was a Christian, and is now a Muslim. Juad White in the comments.
I don't think you got the right last name to be a Muslim. That's just me, especially if you're a member of the Nation of Islam. But it's just like you
I
said,
don't
you
know.
just,
I don't know if he's a member of the Nation of Islam. I don't. Not Juad. I just know he's Muslim,
but
but
still,
not Nation of Islam.
it's like jumping from frying pan to frying pan. You just selecting your colonizers. It's no different than like how we pay our bills here in the United States, right? So when you pay your electric or your gas bill, you can choose the supplier where they go get the gas from or the electric. Don't fucking matter. You still paying this shit. So I ain't doing nothing but just going one to the other. Both of them cost my money, my time, my resources. Neither one of them belongs to me. Neither one of them are real. Both
No,
of them come from Judaism.
no,
So it's
Juad. I know you're not a part of this cult, but I know that you are Muslim. You were a Christian, and now you are now a Muslim. And to me, I just think I don't understand it. I just do not understand it. But I mean, each to their own.
right. I don't understand it either. I really wish they would give more information on him. But as you can see in the
Mm,
picture of him, he definitely does not look like a person from Mecca.
no. And with the information that is there, he may have been pretending to be something he's not.
Right. That's what it seems like to me. So
Mm-hmm.
Farrar
That,
taught. Go ahead. Go ahead.
so,
Russell.
sorry about that, Reggie. I was just going to say that that's the thing with these religions. Anyone can come up with a story and
Mm-hmm.
say anything that feels good, that makes people, gives people hope, or just a message for people. Anyone can claim to be a messiah or claim to be a prophet, and people just eat it up. That's the problem I have with these religions. Even a child can come up claiming to have seen a UFO, and all of a sudden they start worshiping that child as a god.
Right.
What's wrong with people? Why do they feel the need to have a god or
And
something to worship? Why do
Vessel,
they keep falling for these things?
Vessel, in the case of Islam, right? At least if you're going to look at the prophet and say, okay, this person was a prophet, that prophet, his his behavior, his character, his the things that he did, if anything, that was not a prophet. He was he was a very cruel individual. I heard about I read about, I've got the book somewhere, it's right there. There was a woman who was opposed to him. I've forgotten what exactly she had done. He got his men to grab this woman and tie her one, I think it was a horse, one horse there, one horse there, tie her both ends and get the horses to move a
Hmm.
woman
In opposite directions. I
in
think we
opposite directions
together, and yeah, she was torn in two,
and
something
turn
like that.
into, yeah. I
How,
mean, there was a young girl that wrote satirical verses about him. He had her killed,
I think that
sleeping with a 9-year old. Just the idea that a grown man, 50 something, would look at a 9-year old. I don't care whether it was back then or now. He's sick. He must be a sick individual to look at a 9-year old and think that you want to have sex with a 9-year old. I mean, this is YouTube. If not that this was YouTube, the way I would go off. But let me keep my thoughts to myself.
I don't know why people think. Oh, well, men in particular. Why do men think that just because a person bleeds, they're ready to have sex? Or why do people think that because a person bleeds, they're ready for marriage?
You're ready to have babies. As long as
Right.
you're ready to have babies, you're good to go.
I don't see where that logic comes from. I don't understand why you think that you understand a woman's anatomy. A woman don't know nothing about your anatomy, and we don't know nothing about theirs. So I don't see why we think that. You said where we getting this stuff from, Duke? We're getting it from the Bible. Aisha was 6 years old when she was
Aisha,
married.
no, the Quran.
Right. She
You
was
said the
6 years.
Bible.
Same shit. But the Quran. Sorry. We got it from the Quran. She was 6 years old, and they consummated their marriage when she was 9. Now you can say it doesn't say that, but it does say it in the Hadith. Muslims, they believe in the Hadith. Now in Hadiths, excuse me. Now we can cherry pick which ones are real, which ones are not. But I would rather listen to the one
Mm.
that comes from her mouth. She's the mother of Islam, right? So why not listen to what she said?
I hate it when people come along and say, "Oh, but it's not in the Quran." Oh, really? Your 5 daily prayers, is it in the Quran?
Nope.
Your 5 daily prayers, is it found in there? But you do your 5 daily prayers, right? A lot of the things that you do today are not found in the Quran. Oh, but when it's uncomfortable, when the thing doesn't sound good to you, when the thing is pinching you because you know that this is evil found in my religion. Oh, but it's not in the Quran. Oh, it's not in the Quran. You start to cry. Okay,
Khadija is
well,
not. Khadija is not the mother of Islam. Aisha is.
no, Khadija is. Who cares who's the mother? Who cares who's the mother? Jesus Christ. Who
Does
cares who the
Khadija
mother is?
does Khadija have a hadith?
Who cares who the mother is? I mean, think about the way she and the prophet actually went ahead and connived to do that marriage that they did. That listen, them people. The Khadijah's father said no. She doesn't want the prophet to marry her. No,
She the one that
but
turned him out. She the one who made him
yeah,
the way he
yeah,
is.
she went and gave him alcohol, dressed him up, had him there to give.
She groomed him.
Oh my goodness. Marriage from what do you call this now? A marriage of alcohol intoxication. Ridiculous.
I'm gonna read this last thing about him, and I'm gonna end it. Farrar taught his followers to reject surnames inherited from white slave owners as part of their initiation into the
Hey,
group.
Tanisha.
Farrar bestowed new Muslim names upon his converts. He taught that this practice restored their original and true identities while also revealing that the lies that cloak the origins of the so called Asiatic black man, which we are not, such names included Muhammad, Ali, Kareem, and Farrar. Scholars note that new names had previously been given by Noble Drew Ali of the Moorish Science Temple of America, who assigned surnames El and Bey. The term slave name was used by the MSTA. After Farrar's death, Elijah Muhammad continued this practice within the Nation of Islam and added the letter X, symbolizing the unknown instead of his name. Both during and after his life, some charged that Farrar was a con man who used mystery and charisma to swindle poor blacks, selling them new Muslim names and stirring up racial animosity by copying selected elements of other Muslim religion sects and ideologies that fit his racial supremacist narrative. I agree. Um, he just played on their insecurities. They're
Yeah.
poor. They realized that Christianity wasn't working for them all this time, and I agree with that part. So he sold them a dream. Um, it just shows that some people are just naturally gullible. Some
Yeah.
people want to believe something. Some people want to be servants. Some people want to remain slaves. Some people want to kiss ass. Some people want to be bent over all day. That's on them.
Apparently you're inventing these things.
Okay. I can't make up all this shit. My mind don't think about the Nation of Islam like that to make this up. I gotta be reading it somewhere, bro. I ain't making up shit. Now,
I
whether if
mean,
it's
it's
true or
not
not,
it's not it's not our fault that you chose the religion. It's on you. If you're so worried about the information, maybe you should do some homework. It's not on us. We didn't create any of this stuff. If you have a problem, I mean, we didn't shove the religion on your down your
right?
throat. You, a black man in this modern day, right? Of all the religions in the world, right? You went and chose this one, and now you cry. Now you are crying. Oh, bro, you haven't started crying. No, you really haven't started crying, because there'll be more and more lives that you will have to visit. Oh, you're not inventing. You're
They ain't been
inventing.
shit.
You're inventing. You will cry. You will cry very well. You wait. Come and cry. Oh, you're inventing. When people are reading, you see that he's reading from somewhere. No, it's not on us. Go and talk to the leaders of your religion, right? Go and ask them, why is this so? Why is this, go. It's not
Right.
us. You don't have issues with us. We're just reading what's out there. We're just, calling, we're just doing a deep dive, right? It's not our fault that your people, did these things. But it just speaks volumes. A black man, Duke Eatman. Look at him. Black man in 2024, choosing a religion meant for the Arabs. And you're crying. Brother, you're crying. You haven't started. You're going to cry some more.
I just challenge every Black person who is a follower of Islam to go and live in an Arabic country.
Yes.
Go live in
Duke,
Saudi Arabia.
go there.
Go live in Iran. Go live in Iraq. Go live there
Yes.
and
And-
see if they will take you as one of their own.
And take your wife and daughters with you.
Yes, take them with you
Mm-hmm.
Right.
and
They treat you
see
like a
whether they
slave.
will recognize you as equal.
You hear about the racism in the religion, just go on TikTok and type racism in Islam. Go and see black
A Black
Muslims crying
Muslim will
about the
forever be
treatment that
Bilal. That's all you'll ever be to them.
they
Another Bilal.
Bilal, a
Straight up
slave,
Bilal. A raisin head Ethiopian.
a slave.
Is this group not a cult? No, because this is the thing about it, Eatman. I feel the same way about Islam as I do Christianity or as any religion. It doesn't belong to black people. So don't think that you're being singled out. Next episode is gonna be about Christianity more than likely. And again, I haven't really said anything about it. Except for the fact that the people that we're mentioning that were real human beings, that they were fraudulent and they were. What I'm saying is true. So
What group is he referring to? Because there
I don't
isn't a
know.
group.
There
We're
is
just
no
grown
group.
adults coming together to have a conversation. So if people conversating is considered a cult, well, I don't know.
Right,
I don't know
right.
where you
He's,
get your
he's got.
definition from.
Listen, next time, Duke, next time I see you come along, I'll bring a bucket for your tears. Because your tears, you're still gonna cry some more. You're still going to cry some more, because you think that people will come along and be babysitting your feelings. Is what you're thinking. Mhm.
It's not
uh,
gonna happen.
I've got a bucket. The last time I brought a blue bucket, I bring it for his tears. Duke 8 months tears. Because that brother is still going to cry loads. Then
You
wait
said
until your daughter reach the age of 6. Then you will have to give her away, like Aisha, when she's 6 years old. Give your daughter away in marriage.
then you're saying who do I think was the original inhabitants of Arabia were in the first place? See, this is the thing that you don't realize, right? I don't give a fuck. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm not from Arabia. Nobody in my family is from Arabia. I have no Arabic blood in me. Nobody in my lineage is from that region. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with that group of people. They just don't belong to me. So therefore, I like to mind my business. They don't mean anything to me. Actually, they don't
in,
mean anything
in
to you either.
in this modern day, imagine going to choose a religion you have to defend.
Right. I feel the same way about Christianity. It does
A
not belong to
religion
me.
that doesn't even like you. You're defending a
Mhm.
religion that doesn't like you, that is anti you, that
So
is not
you
meant
admit that
for
you're
you.
not learned in this. I'm
Move
not
to
learned in
Saudi
this area.
Arabia. Just move to Saudi Arabia. Let's see how long you last in
You're
this
No,
saying
religion.
we're not learned. No, we're not.
I
We're
don't want
doing
to
a
learn
deep
about that.
dive. We're doing a deep dive. We're trying to figure out what this is about, right? So yes, we're learning as we go along. And in fact, I've learned quite a few things here on this particular live. So thank you, Reggie. I wasn't learned before about the Nation of Islam, but guess what? Now I'm learned.
Me too.
You see. So yes, now we are learned, Duke. Now we are learned. I think you're the one who needs learning, because like
Right,
looks like you're the one who doesn't know shit at all.
right, because you're not saying it grammatically correct either. I didn't
I've
learn
learned to
anything.
like I didn't realize that the leader is worshipped. It's such a
Like
shame.
Allah,
A
worship
religion that
like
tells
as
you dress
Allah.
a certain way, eat
Wow.
certain things, don't do certain things. That's a cult.
Yeah,
But you need to
cult.
study. You need to study more. No, I don't. I mean, I am studying. This is a study group. But what I could do is tell you this. I studied the fact that I know that your religion's fake. I know that the Quran's fake. I know that the moon can't be cracked in half. I know that donkeys can't fly. Shit like that. So when you think about telling people to study, I think that you should use critical thinking, because obviously you are
Burak
not.
Express.
Right, you're not. A book that came from a god that doesn't exist, to an angel that doesn't exist, to a illiterate motherfucker.
Mm-mm-mm.
So don't tell me to study.
Afro, what's the Barak Express?
Ah, that was the transportation mode to go and crack the moon.
Duke, I know you're
Oh,
not
The
an Arab.
it
I
so
know
was
why?
that.
the transportation mode to fly to the seven heavens.
Oh,
Yes,
Be
jeez.
and
yourself.
there's pictures. Wait, there's pictures. Wait, let me see if I can find the pictures of the, is it Burak Express? They call it the Burak.
Be yourself, Duke. Don't try to be an imaginary Arab. It's not a good look on you. Great people, but you're not one of them. Free Palestine.
I say free Sudan,
Yes, free
free
Sudan.
Congo.
Free Congo as
Can
well.
I share my screen,
Because I
Reggie?
don't see any Palestinians saying free Congo, free Sudan. So I've stopped saying free Palestine. I'm gonna shout out mine and look after mine. So free Congo, which has been going on longer than Palestine.
I only said that to him because people, it's interesting to me that I never see Muslims say anything about Palestine, and the reason why is because they know they cannot fuck with the Israelis, and they're scared of them for good reason, but they're scared of them. You're watching your brothers get annihilated, and you're not doing anything.
So, Burak, vessel.
Whose head is that?
Well, it says the Taj Mahal. But there
Mhm,
are
that
pictures of
head.
the
The human
so
head part, who does that belong to?
huh?
Because that just looks something out of Hinduism.
Yeah, but apparently this was let me see if I can find you let's see what's
Because that just makes the donkey look like a god, like a demigod or something.
right. So this is information about the Burak, yeah? Let me share this tab, right? So the Burak in Arabic is a supernatural winged horse-like creature in Islamic tradition that served as the mount of the Islamic prophet Muhammad during his Isra and Miraj journey from Mecca to Jerusalem and up through the heavens and back at night. So you should transport
Oh,
him to the heavens and bring him back at night. The Burak is also said to have transported certain prophets such as Abraham over long distances within a moment's duration. So the
not
Burak Express,
possible. How is that
Burak.
possible since Abraham never existed?
Right. Somebody need to be more informed. This is what you believe. This is what's in your mind, bro. That you really think that this shit actually was in existence. So you can't really speak on being informed or knowing things because you know very little.
Afro, you're making me laugh.
No, but did you not see it? Look at this. No, I mean, he had to get to the heavens, no?
But
See,
how
you
did he
fly
clap with things with Muhammad sitting on his back? These things don't make sense.
I don't know.
These
But
things don't
unfortunately, this is what people believe. The Burak Express. Mm-mm. Anyway, I need me my own Burak.
Right.
Mm-mm.
I
I'm
need me
about
my
to.
own Burak.
No, but hold on.
Anyway.
There's a firmament around the earth. So how did this Barack
Mm-mm.
Express go to it?
Right.
No, the Burak has the key to the firmament. That's the key.
Uh-huh.
There's a door by the firmament. So as soon as the you see Burak has hands. So when he gets the door, he just opens the key and then goes. It's crazy. It's crazy.
What you
It's
got
crazy.
going on? Well, I know what you got going on. Can you tell us what you got going on the rest of the day, Afro?
I've got Godless Dating in 10 minutes. Today's been a really busy day. But yes, if you are a person that does not believe in any of these fairy tales and the Buraks and all the sky daddies, and you find yourself single, make sure to come along to it's on TikTok, Afro's dating event, or just look for Godless Dating and you find us there. So yes, that's what we're doing.
Okay. Well, I'll catch you there. I'll probably be back on here on Wednesday to do AAA Podcast Sports. Maybe Friday. If not, I'll be back here again Sunday. With this again, Faith, Lies, and Confusion. Thank everybody for coming
What
out.
about Vessel?
Yeah,
What's
Vessa.
Vessel?
What you got going on, Vessa?
I will be supporting Afros this evening, and after that, if you're going to be live, Reggie, I will be supporting you too.
Okay. I'll definitely be there as well. Thank Ouija666. Thank you,
Yes,
Duke
beautiful
Eatman.
lady.
Uh, Thank you, Rev. Everybody else that commented. Thank you, Gerard White. Um, Thank you, Gert Walk. Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Play the outro.